In this video, I would explain the difference between the where clause and the having clause in SQL. So firstly, let's start with the where clause. We have a simple table that records the name of an employee, the department, and the salary that each employee earns. And this is the employees table. So firstly, we would introduce the where clause. The where clause is used to add a filter or to filter rows in a table. So filtering data basically means getting a subset of the data. For instance, let's say you have a basket that is filled with different types of fruits like oranges, apples, and bananas. You can decide to filter the basket to only have oranges. So basically, what that means is you take out the bananas, you take out the oranges, and you only have orange oranges in the basket. That's the same way filter works in SQL. So for instance, let's say we wanted to only see employees who earn higher than $70,000. We can filter it to only show us employees who earn higher than $70,000, and we do that in SQL using the where clause. So how that is done is you write the select command that shows the columns you want to display, and then the from command that shows which table you would like to display the columns from, and then you can now add a where clause where then we want to filter by the salary column. We only want where the salary is greater than 70,000. So we can say where salary is greater than 70,000. And what this will do, it will only show us employees where the salary is greater than 70,000. If I go ahead and run this, I can see that I only have two employees whose salary is greater than 70,000. Gabriel, who earns 75,000, and Raliat, who earns 98,000. So this is an example of filtering your data. Now let me give another example. Say for instance, we want to show only employees who work in the IT department. So this is another example of filtering your data, right? So let's show our table again. We have employees from different departments: finance, IT, and sales, as you can see. But now we only want to filter to show employees who are in the IT department. So we can do that. We can say select all the columns from the employees table where department, because we want to filter it by department this time. So where department equals IT. So put it in quotes because it's a string or varchar in SQL. So basically, we want to show all the columns in the employees table where the department is IT. So we only want to filter it to show us only employees in the IT department, just like the example I gave earlier, where you can decide to, when you have a basket filled with oranges, apples, and bananas, you can decide to filter it and have only oranges, thereby taking out the apples and the bananas. So that's the same thing we want to do here. We only want people from the IT department, and we'll take out the finance and the sales department. So if I run this, I can see that there are only 4 employees in the IT department: Gabriel, Raliat, Akwasi, and Chelsea. So this is an example of filtering your data. The where clause is used to filter data. You see, you can filter numerical data, and you can filter by strings also. So you can filter your data in any way, right, using the where clause. Now the having clause, on the other hand, is also used to filter your data. But the difference between the having clause and the where clause is that the having clause is only used after you've grouped your data. So after you've performed some sort of aggregation on your data and you want to filter that result set, you can then use the having clause instead of the where clause. They are both used to filter your data, but in different examples. For instance, so let's say in this table we want to find so the question says show departments whose total salary is higher than 200,000. So we want to find departments where the total salary in that department is higher than 200,000. The very first thing we'll do is find the total salary for each department. And to get the total salary in each department, we have to use a group by clause to group the data. So we're going to say select the department, want to see the department column, and then want to sum up the salary column. So let's alias this as total salary. So I want to sum up the salary column and group it by each department. So in the finance department, sum up the total salary in that department. In the IT department, sum up the total salary. In the sales department, sum up the total salary. So if we run this, we can see that we have 160k as the total salary in the finance department. We have 304k as the total salary in the IT department, and then we have 147k as the total salary in the sales department. Now the question says, show those departments whose total salary is higher than 200,000. So we want to see which department that where the total salary is higher than 200,000. Because this is a small data set, we can just say that only the IT department's total salary is higher than 200,000. But if we wanted to write this in SQL, we cannot use where here because, for instance, we can't say where total salary greater than 200,000, right? Because the where clause does not come after the group by clause. The where clause comes before the group by clause. There is a hierarchy, there is an order with which you write your SQL queries. So if we then decide to take this line of code and then place it here, it also does not work because this total salary column did not exist until after we've grouped it. So we created this total salary column after we summed up the salary column. So this total salary column just exists after the grouping. So we cannot use it before the group by command. If we decide to filter before the group by command, this where command filters the original table. It cannot filter this result set. So now we are in a dilemma. We cannot put the where command before the group by, and we cannot put the where command after the group by. But we still need to filter this result set to show us the departments where the total salary is greater than 300,000. That is where we use the having command. So the having command is just like a where command, but the having clause is used after you've grouped your data. Now we can now say having total salary greater than $200,000. So the having command is like a where command, but it's used to filter your already grouped data or your result set. So we have a result set here. This is not an original table. This is just the result of the grouping we did. And now we want to filter by this column called total salary. We cannot use where after the group by because that is a wrong syntax. And we cannot use where before the group by because where will not filter this result set. Where can only filter the original table. And this is not an original table. This is a result set. So we use the having command, having total salary greater than 200,000, and when we run this, we can see that the IT department is the only department where the total salary is greater than 200,000. So where command and the having clause do basically the same thing. They filter your data. However, they are used in different instances. The where command is used on your original table before your aggregation, while your having command is used on your result set after you've grouped or aggregated your data.